We'll hear from David Williams.
I'll try to keep this at 5 minutes. So my name is David Earl Williams III. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I'm an author of a literature RPG series called Valor Tale. I ran for alderman in the 48th Ward in 2019, and I actually championed the CPAC model, that you see here today. That's why we have ECPS. And my mom actually lives right down the street from this place, so very convenient. I get to visit her all the time, though. So a little bit about my family. So my ex-step-uncle, who died in 2020, he was actually a Chicago police officer out of the 19th District from 1989 to 2011. His brother, my stepfather, who died in 2021, actually from cancer, unfortunately, he was a part of a gang in his youth, what we call a criminal enterprise, and, he did his time, he reformed himself, met my mother, they were together for a while. And, growing up, having these two perspectives, it was quite interesting, especially, them both being Muslim, and I'm non-denominational myself, I could say, it's a pretty diverse household there. When it comes to simply what I believe, and, there's various views on when it comes to police reforms and, being fair. So, obviously, cops, a lot of them are overworked. I do feel that there should be transition to a 4-day work week, 3 days off and 1 day for mental wellness. I do believe in bringing back foot patrols, and I would say for cops who work in the district actually should live within the district so they get to know the community better. However, at the very same time, I do believe that our tax dollars should not be going towards CPD misconduct settlements. I do think that $82 million could be invested in mental health, transitional housing for the homeless. And especially, the issue of migrants came up. Well, I believe we could prioritize and take care of migrants and the homeless here as well. Why am I running? Well, we all hear the names of police brutality, the victims of it, like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Laquan McDonald. And wherever there's injustice, we need to snuff that out. But keep in mind that police brutality, well, even police misconduct itself, generally, it doesn't just happen to black and brown people. Sometimes the situations can be different, but the end result is usually the same, unfortunately. So having a mother who lives in this community and being familiar with what goes on, just in recent history, you had an incident that was very devastating. And it was a young 9-year-old boy, his name was Herschel Weinberger, who was riding his bike. He was steps away from his house, and a car went past the stop sign, just sped through it, and he was fatally struck by the car, and there was an off-duty officer who did this. Although they said it was accidental, it seems like this incident was just swept under the rug, and I'm shaking here because I don't even want to bring this up. It bothers me just because of the simple fact, I may not have kids myself, but I do have nieces and nephews, and if they were in a situation like that, I would be devastated because no matter how many citations this officer got, guess what? Herschel's not coming back. They wouldn't come back, especially like Tyree Nichols, the individual who was pulled out of his car, beat him to death like a piñata. None of them are coming back, and this is why police accountability is so important. And I would say that even as I've been throughout the ward here, throughout the district itself, people are still running these stop signs. And, this was a very big issue for a lot of people I've talked to. And I want to say that we shouldn't allow, Herschel's death to be in vain. We should work together on some valuable solutions to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So here's the thing. How are we going to do this? Are we going to take the stance of, oh, we hate the cops, we should get rid of them? Or maybe we might take the stance of, let's militarize the cops and never question when they're in the wrong. And I got to say to both of those, no way. I think we could take a common sense middle ground approach, and you're wondering, how are we going to do this? Simple, by working together as a community with the businesses, local organizations, block clubs, religious institutions, and yes, this will include the police as well, because that's the whole point of this, regardless of your feelings on that. And speaking of working together, if I'm elected or whenever that is, my role in the Police District Council would be to pretty much go out and inform people of these meetings that will take place, the policies, the very vital policies that can be set, and your input is going to be very important because this is your community as well. So as my campaign slogan goes, and it's on my buttons, and if you know me, you see my door hangers. I've talked to you briefly as I've been out. I've lost 15 pounds doing this, by the way. It's great. You know, I went from 176 to, 160, 161. I was that like 10 years ago. I'm 39 now, but I look a lot younger. So as my campaign slogan goes, speak, live, breathe, unity. And that's how we're going to get things done, together.